The broke folks who wanted to sacrifice a dang chicken for the holiday and got laughed out of town. Out on the edge of this tiny village, where the houses are scattered like raindrops on a window pane, there stood a rickety shack made of mud walls and a roof of reeds and sticks that the wind shook like a heart aching in the quiet. Inside that shack lived Saeed, a young broke dude with wheat-colored skin, a face beat down by the sun, and eyes full of contentment and surrender. He worked as a shepherd for one of the rich folks in the village, heading out before the sun cracked the sky and dragging his feet home, worn out to the bone. His wife, Zainab, slaved away as a maid in the same rich guy's house, cleaning, washing, cooking, with tears in her eyes she wouldn't let fall for the sake of their 3 kids, Musa and Ayub, the boys, and little Amina, who said daddy like it was her favorite song. Life was rough as hell on Saeed and Zainab, but they saw it as a blessing anyway. They say, long as faith's in your heart, the good stuff's coming and your belly ain't starving. She'd cry out of fear of the Lord, and he'd sit at night on a thin mat some charity gave him, lift his hands and whisper, God, you know I ain't complaining, but you see it all. Every time he'd hear a neighbor talking about their kids getting hyped for the holiday, jingling their pocket change, Saeed'd glance at his sleeping youngins and get this wild urge to make 'em happy. And here comes Eid al-Adha, that big holiday full of big dreams for the little ones and big regrets for the broke ones. On a chilly night, the kids were crashed out in the corner of the shack, and the couple was sitting on a torn-up mat with a cup of tea, no sugar. Zainab whispered, I wish we could make 'em smile this time. See Amina giggling at the sheep. Watch Musa racing Ayub. God, just this once. Saeed shook his head all sad like, doing the math in his head. How much for a sheep? How to scrape it together? Food barely lasted a week. How the heck for a sacrifice? He told her soft, I'll work days and God nights. She said, and I'll sew for the village ladies, dresses and robes. Don't care if I crash at dawn. The point is making them happy. Right then, the biggest sacrifice plan of their lives was born. From that night on, everything flipped in Saeed and Zainab's world. Days weren't just for herding anymore. Nights weren't for sleeping. The whole dang day turned into a grind fest, and nights were for tears and exhaustion. By 5 a.m., he'd be out of the shack, trudging through the fog, leaning on an old stick, pushing his boss's sheep to the fields. With every step, he'd mutter to himself, God, make every drop of my sweat a blessing. Over on the other side of the village, Zainab would haul a big sack of ladies' clothes, hitting up different houses to grab sewing gigs to knock out at night. At one door, the rich lady swung it open, eyed her up and down, and snapped, Why you late? You promised that dress yesterday. Zainab panted, Sorry, I finished it this morning. I was a bit under the weather. The lady cut her off sharp. Sick? Y'all broke folks don't get sick. You just gotta keep grinding. Body wants to quit or not. Zainab didn't clap back, didn't wipe the tear pooling in her eye. She'd learned to stuff the hurt deep inside. At night, after the kids conked out, the shack was filled with the zip of the needle stabbing through cloth scraps, and Zainab talking to herself. So don't you quit on me. We're gonna celebrate this holiday, even if it costs us our whole lives. In the corner, Saeed had fiddled with a little pouch of the coins he'd scraped together, hiding his size in his chest, thinking, I don't want my kids feeling less than. We'll slaughter a sheep, even if time pities me with it. Every day, Saeed brainstormed ways to stack more cash. He offered to night guard a merchant's warehouse for peanuts, spending cold, lonely nights. Zainab, juggling sewing, cleaning, and laundry, rocked patience like a mountain with a spark of hope in her eye. After 2 brutal weeks, they sat at night with a little box of mixed-up coins between them. Saeed counted them. Almost there, just a bit more. We gotta hold on a few days, then hit the market. Zainab, tear in her eye, said, We'll go and you pick it. I want you feeling like we're just like everybody else, no one pointing fingers. And so, in that silent night, under stars like tears, the dream got closer. The tiredness piled up, but hope lit the path like a flashlight. The sun was just peeking over the sky when Saeed and Zainab woke up, hearts pounding with nerves and excitement. This was market day, the day they'd been waiting weeks for after nights of straight hustle and skimping. Saeed tied his shoe strap and said, "God, don't let us go home empty-handed. You know you don't waste the reward or the good ones." Zainab stuffed the box's coins into a little bag. "Don't sweat it. We'll find something that pleases you and makes the kids beam, even if it's the tiniest sheep in the joint." The market was buzzing with noise, hawkers yelling, animals bleating, guys haggling, kids running wild, everyone chasing their fate. Saeed and Zainab hung back on the edge, scoping out the sheep for sale. Saeed gripped his robe tail, glanced around sneaky-like and whispered, "Too pricey, the cash ain't cutting it." Zainab saw the defeat in his eyes and said, gentle, "Chill, let's check the far side. Maybe someone's selling fair without jacking prices." In a quiet corner, an old-timer sat on a mat scrap with a white sheep beside him. Not huge, not puny, but with this kind of dignity. Saeed stepped up. "You selling this, uncle?" The old man, "Yup, looking for an owner who will appreciate it." "How much?" Saeed and Zainab were stunned. The price was right in their range. Saeed, suspicious, "Why so fair?" The old guy grinned. "I sell to who deserves it, not who pays top dollar." Just like that, after thinking they'd strike out, they scored better than they dreamed. They bought it, and the guy even helped haul it back. On the walk, Zainab patted the sheep's head. "You ain't the strongest, but you got the blessing of patient hearts. Saeed, this year's holiday's gonna be a memory, a lesson and joy we carry forever." They rolled into the village with the sheep in tow, and folks stared like they'd seen ghosts. A neighbor, "That's Saeed with a sheep? How?" A lady, "Zainab couldn't even afford a flour sack, and now she's got a sheep?" Saeed and Zainab didn't bite back. They just strutted with heads high, pride beating the holiday. The folks eyed their sacrifice like it was unreal, the sheep finally in the yard. Poverty had bowed to them in respect, and fate cracked a smile after months of frowning. Saeed and Zainab hunkered in a corner of their simple shack, watching their 3 kids circle the sheep like a drop from heaven. Zainab wiped her sweat after a long sew day. "See, Saeed, ain't nothing sweeter than this grind if it's for them." He gazed at the sheep, calm. "Feels like a dream, Zainab. If you knew how I prayed in those cold nights to see 'em laughing around their own sacrifice like other kids." They didn't finish chatting when they heard the kids' giggles outside. They dashed to the rich neighbor's house where his massive sheep arrived, wrapped in fancy red cloth, led by a shaky maid. Little Amina squealed with joy. "I want to see it! I want to see it!" She bolted innocent-like toward the sheep, but the rich snob's daughter blocked her, sneering. "This ain't for you. Our sheep don't look like your scrawny chicken." Then she shoved her, and Amina hit the dirt. In a flash, the big sheep rammed her hard on the side of her head. Everything froze, screams, blood, then dead silence. Saeed scooped her up in his arms like she was his whole world, sprinting to the village dock while Zainab wailed, "Amina, don't leave us, baby girl." The doc checked her quick and serious. "Skull hit, needs delicate surgery in the next 24 hours or permanent damage." Saeed, voice cracking, "How much?" Doc looked down. $8,000. It hit like lightning. After all that, they had just $2,000, and the rest, the sheep money from hours ago. Saeed stormed to the rich guy's house, pleading, "Yo, sheep gored my daughter. You got to help. It's her life, no joke." The rich dude, cold and snooty. "Who told your kid to get close? Watch your own brats. Ain't paying a dime." Saeed bolted, holding back tears, straight to the cellar. "Can I return it? Need the cash for her fix." The guy eyed the sheep, hesitated, then, "Can't take it back full price. Market shifted. $5,000. Take it or leave." Saeed nodded, no thinking, went home, sold his wedding ring, borrowed scraps from a buddy, got the surgery done. It worked, but the holiday, it came, and all they had left was a chicken. Holiday morning, they heard drums, ladies whooping, sheep bleating in the streets, every neighbor dragging out huge rams filling the hood. Saeed's kids tumbled out, hauling a little tied-up rooster by a rope. The other kids cracked up, mocking, "Check out the holiday chicken. Y'all gonna slaughter it or it'll peck you first." But Saeed held his head high and said, "Steady, we gave up everything for our girl, and this rooster's worth 1,000 fancy rams." Zainab eyed him, tears flowing. "We're good with what you gave us, God." Right after holiday prayers, someone knocked. Saeed opened. Bam! A massive white ram tied with wool string, trailed by 5 little sheep. Stunned. Where's the herder? Who sent it? No note, no ask for cash. He quizzed the neighbors. Nobody knew, but tucked in its horn, a tiny card in old handwriting. "Whoever fears God, he makes a way out and provides from where you don't expect." His heart shook. He hugged that ram tight, cried. Zainab cried. The kids bawled. Even the rooster crowed 3 times like it was joining the party. Days rolled by, Saeed raising those 5 sheep like his own. They grew, multiplied into a whole flock. His luck boomed. He rented grazing land, snagged a little house outside the shack, even a shop to sell from. Next year, he was the one handing out sheep to the village broke folks, no questions asked if they deserved it. He'd say, "I tasted hunger and letdowns." He'd watch Amina laughing again and think, "God, you don't crush the hopes of those who trust you." If you dug this story, don't forget to like and sub to the channel. Drop a comment if you want more tales like this. Catch you later.